Today, I'll be reacting to LeBron James and his vastly overrated finals runs exposed. I don't know how someone make the finals 8 straight times overrated, but let's go right into the video. This is about to be some high-level hating.
LeBron James, the media darling, of which various writers and on-air personalities have largely been pining over and pleasuring themselves to for the better part of 2 decades, is still going strong, nearing the age of 40, and so too are the various contrived narratives being pumped on major media outlets and social media platforms to support his fabricated GOAT case.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
One of the most
I agree with that comment. LeBron said that after Cleveland won in 2016. I do agree with LeBron after that. After that 2016 finals, I in my head also agree. I'm like, that is the greatest basketball player I ever saw in my life. After that series, I'm like, yep, that's the greatest basketball player ever. After that series, I agree with you there, LeBron.
fabricated GOAT case.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
One of the most famous, well-known, and regurgitated of all of these narratives is the LeBron carried teams to 8 consecutive finals fairy tale, an argument used to somehow diffuse the fact he has actually only won 4 championships in 20 years and counting.
No one said LeBron carried his teams all 8 years. Now, LeBron did carry some teams to the finals, but no one says LeBron carried all 8 during that finals run, all 8 years he was carrying. No one says that. Well, I don't say that. There's some teams he carried, but come on, not all 8. Come on now. No one says that.
Actually only won 4 championships in 20 years and counting. As if going to 8 straight finals is some trump card to going 6 for 6 in the finals in an 8-year span.
Hold up. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Wait, so someone making the finals 8 straight times is not, what? So that's not significant? What? Any other player is significant, but LeBron is not. Make that make sense. Oh my gosh, this guy LeBron got 4 championships and 4 finals MVPs. What are we talking about here? Like, come on. Oh yeah, this video about to be insane. This video's about to be insane.
Card to going 6 for 6 in the finals in an 8-year span. As pathetic and nonsensical as that entire chain of reasoning is, it gets even more laughable when you delve into the specific final runs, as LeBron James resided in one of the worst conferences in NBA history. But just how bad was the Eastern Conference LeBron feasted on for the vast majority of his career?
It's garbage!
LeBron James entered the NBA at the age of 19.
Was the Eastern Conference trash, or was just LeBron that good? Because, for example, that argument makes no sense to me. Like, for example, if we're going to use that, Michael Jordan went 6-0 in the NBA Finals and never went to a Game 7. So in the 90s was the Western Conference weak? Like, think about that. Was the Western Conference weak? I'm just saying, we could use that conversation for anybody that's great. That just makes no sense to me. Like, that's making no sense. LeBron just that great. Like I just explained with Michael Jordan. He went 6-0 and never went to a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. The West wasn't weak. Michael Jordan was just that good. Like, come on. How you go? Oh my gosh. LeBron going to 8 straight finals was overrated because the East was weak. No. LeBron going to 8 straight finals should be appreciated because he was that elite. He was that good.
The vast majority of his career.
It's garbage!
LeBron James entered the NBA at the age of 19 in the 2003-2004 season and was lucky enough to be drafted into a conference on the decline. In all, James played 15 seasons in the Eastern Conference and made 9 of his 10 career finals appearances over those 15 years, and yes, that included famously 8 straight. From his first year in 2003 and running those 15 years to 2018, the Western Conference won the season series against the East 14 times out of 15, with the lone exception coming in the 2008-2009 season, a season where predictably LeBron did not make it to the NBA Finals. Overall, in LeBron's 15 years in the Eastern Conference, the West had a total record of 3,695 and 2,845 head-to-head against the JV Conference.
The Spurs and the Lakers pretty much ran the West, though. The Spurs, you have Tim Duncan in his prime, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili in their prime. In the Western Conference, you got Kobe, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, and they had Trevor Ariza, Andrew Bynum. Like, come on. In the West, those were some squads. Like, that's insane. Those are some insane teams. Like, you're not going to have that much better teams than that. You're just not. Like, come on.
845 head-to-head against the JV Conference. Good for a winning percentage of just 43% for the East over LeBron's 15-year tenure in that conference. And it is no wonder the West was dominating the vastly inferior Eastern Conference during LeBron's 15-year run there. It was because all of the best players were in the Western Conference during this span of time. Of the 225 All-NBA first, second, and third team members selected from 2003 through 2018, 147 of them played in the Western Conference.
Well, let's congratulate the Western Conference GMs for having good teams. I'm trying to figure out what this got to do with LeBron. Like, he can't control that. Like, come on. I know he tried to make a case how the East was weak, but it just sounded like the Western Conference just had better general managers. That's what it sounded like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me. Because the West did have some squads, but that's to the GMs and the basketball and whoever the head of basketball operations. To me, that sounds like we should give them credit and appreciate them for making great teams. Like, come on.
147 of them played.
Also, in addition to making great teams, they also drafted and acquired great players.
2018, 147 of them played in the Western Conference, meaning only 34% of the All-NBA team players selected during that span came from Little LeBron's pitiful little conference. Yet, we are all supposed to be dazzled by LeBron's alleged dominance of this conference.
Yes, we should. The NBA is the best basketball league in the world. There are great players that never made the finals, never touched the finals. Some players never even sniffed their conference finals. But we're bashing LeBron, and we're not going to appreciate him going to 8 straight finals? That's ridiculous to me. That's ridiculous. That's honestly insane. Going to 8 straight finals. Like, when was the last time someone even did that? With the 60s with Bill Russell? Like, when was the last time actually a person did that? The hate is insane. Oh, man. At first, he started in Cleveland. He can't control where he get drafted at. He can't control that. He was going to be the first pick straight out of high school. Everybody knew that. Like, come on. Then he went to Miami because he wanted to form a team to beat Boston Big Three because they was the best team in the East, and he was trying to beat them. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. Making the finals in general is an accomplishment, but we're going to bash somebody making 8 straight. That's nuts.
Of the All-NBA team players selected during that span came from Little LeBron's pitiful little conference. Yet, we are all supposed to be dazzled by LeBron's alleged dominance of this conference, with the first run coming in the 2007 season, a season we hear about over and over and over again, when LeBron single-handedly carried a team to the finals. But James got all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals that season without even beating a team that had a winning record, as the Wizards and Nets, the Cavaliers' first and second round opponents, were both just 41-41 that season.
Like I've been saying, what that got to do with LeBron, the teams they playing? Him and the Cavaliers beat them and got the job done. That's what they're supposed to do. Now, if he lost to them teams in this video, he would have been bashed even more. But now he beat the teams. Well, none of them was over 500. Like, come on now. Come on. Shout out to him and the Cavs. They got the job done. Went to the finals. They beat the teams. That's what they're supposed to do. They got the job done. LeBron have no control of what them teams and what the players on them rosters. He only can play who's in front of them, and that's what he did.
To the Eastern Conference Finals that season without even beating a team team that had a winning record. As the Wizards and Nets, the Cavaliers' first and second round opponents, were both just 41-41 that season. Once in the East Finals, the 50-win Cleveland Cavaliers got an evenly matched 53-win Detroit Pistons team that no longer had Ben Wallace, their defensive anchor, nor did they have a single player that averaged over 20 points per game in that season. LeBron then took the next three.
They won 53 games. But they won 53 games, so clearly they were good.
The 50-win Cleveland Cavaliers got an evenly matched 53-win Detroit Pistons team that no longer had Ben Wallace, their defensive anchor, nor did they have a single player that averaged over 20 points per game in that season. LeBron then took the next 3 seasons off from making finals appearances, despite having the best record in the league in 2 of those years and winning league MVP. But some other guy took home the trophies that really mattered those seasons. LeBron, though, being fed up with losing, decided to take his talents to South Beach.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
In so doing, he teamed with other first-team All-NBA team member at the time, Dwayne Wade. And in LeBron's final year in his first stint with Cleveland, the 2009-2010 season, 10 of the 15 All-NBA players selected that season were in the West. Players.
I am going to add context to this. LeBron went to Miami because he kept losing to Boston Big Three, and that Big Three had KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, also Rondo. They had other players, good players on the team too. That's the only reason why he went to Miami, because he see Boston Big Three. Kobe, he had Pau Gasol. Like I said, Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, Trevor Reese, all them good players. Spurs, Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony Parker, it's good players. He's seeing all these stars having a great second co-star or even a great third star. He said, okay, let me build a team then. LeBron said, okay, let me get 2 more great players along my side and see how I match up with these players. Like, come on. Also, was that the Eastern Conference when he dropped like one of them games against the Pistons? He dropped like 25, 27 straight points. I love how he didn't mention that. I love how he didn't mention that. That was nuts. Oh, he ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah, I think one of them games LeBron that series, he scored like the Cavaliers last, 25, 27 points. But people say he don't have a killer instinct. Like, come on, man.
Cleveland, the 2009-2010 season. 10 of the 15 All-NBA players selected that season were in the West. Players like Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, Carmelo Anthony, Amari Stoudemire, and Steve Nash. The top 2 players in the East at that time were first-team All-NBA members Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. James teamed up with the other best player by far in the much weaker conference. What, realistically, did anyone think was going to happen? Of course the Heat were going to run to 4 straight finals in
they still had to face Boston Big Three. Come on now. Why is this guy not bringing up Boston? It's like, come on, he has to bring up Boston. You got to. They still had to face them.
in the much weaker conference. What, realistically, did anyone think was going to happen? Of course the Heat were going to run to 4 straight finals in their 4 seasons together. Is this really supposed to be viewed as an accomplishment to be celebrated?
Yes. Yes. Making the finals in general is an accomplishment. There's so much hate in this video. It's so much hate. It's insane.
Is this really supposed to be viewed as an accomplishment to be celebrated? LeBron James himself called his shot that team would win 8 championships.
Not 5, not 6, not 7.
Yet they only won 2.
2 championships in 4 years sound good to me. Like, that's not a failure. They were together for 4 years, made the finals 4 times, won 2 championships. That sounds like a success to me. Like I said earlier, we need to stop acting like the NBA just be handing out rings. Everyone don't get a ring. Everyone is not going to get a ring. These guys maximized their opportunities, went to the finals 4 times, got 2 rings. That's a success. That 4 years was a success. Like, come on. Like I said, players don't even go to the finals 1 time. They made it 4 times and won 2. That's an accomplishment. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Not 6, not 7.
Yet they only won 2. How can this be viewed in any other light but a categorical failure? Over the 4 years finals runs for those Miami Heat teams, LeBron faced 4 total 50-win teams in the Eastern Conference playoffs, and that is counting the 42-24 Pacers in 2012. Since it was a strike-shortened season, but the win percentage of 64% would have netted them 50 wins in a full 82-game year. So, the best 2 players in the conference, with a perennial all-star in Chris Bosh and a plethora of other elite role players, faced only 4 50-win teams out of 12 opponents.
Like I said, shout out to Miami GMs for getting them together. Skip this video about being LeBron. Any player in a team that go to the finals 4 straight times and won 2 championships, that's an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment. I don't care what anybody say. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. Shout out to LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh. Shout out to them in the Miami Heat teams. Shout out to them.
Perennial all-star in Chris Bosh and a plethora of other elite role players, faced only 4 50-win teams out of 12 opponents to make it to those 4 finals, with the second best team in the conference during that time being the Paul George and Lance Stevenson-led Indiana Pacers. Alas, when LeBron had to play an actual viable opponent from the Western Conference, he got dusted off the court 2 times out of 4. Thus, it was on to super team number 2, pairing Kyrie Irving.
What? Wait, he said viable. Wait. So what about the 2 times he won? He beat the Spurs, one of his rings in Miami. Come on, man. And he beat OKC with KD, Harden, and Russ. Well, they were young. Well, they got to the finals still. They still got to the finals. It don't matter if they were young or not. They still got there. Like, he talking about the Spurs. He literally beat the Spurs the year before that. Like, come on.
Opponent from the Western Conference, he got dusted off the court 2 times out of 4. Thus, it was on to super team number 2, pairing Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, who were both coming off of 2 All-Star selections each in the previous 3 years.
That's not a super team. That is not a super team. That is not a super team. Oh my gosh. We need to figure out the definition of a super team. KD on Golden State was a super team because the year before, Golden State got KD. They won 73 games and they choked a 3-1 lead and still lost a game 7 in the NBA Finals. That happened, then they added KD. That's a super team. You go into a team that missed the playoffs or got out the first round 2 or 3 years before you got there, that is not a super team. That is not a super team. Oh my gosh. This is getting out of hand.
Was on to super team number 2, pairing Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, who were both coming off of 2 All-Star selections each in the previous 3 years, while Kevin Love had 2 All-NBA second teams to his resume in the previous 2 seasons. Over this span of time, with super team number 2, LeBron would face 7 total 50-win teams of his 12 opponents to get to 4 more NBA Finals, bringing his total to 8 consecutive. The stiffest opponent LeBron had over this span of time was the DeMar DeRozan-led Toronto Raptors. So over the 9 years LeBron James made it to the finals from the Eastern Conference, he faced 27 opponents in those Eastern Conference playoffs, of which 12 of those teams won at least 50 games on the season, 44% of his opponents, with the next best.
Shout out to LeBron for getting the job done, because in this video, if we're bashing him in this video for beating them, can you imagine if he lost to them teams? Oh my gosh. Oh man, LeBron got no winning at all.
50 games on the season, 44% of his opponents, with the next best players in the conference over that time being the likes of Paul George and DeMar DeRozan. For context, Kobe Bryant made 7 NBA Finals from the years of 1999 to 2010 from the Western Conference. Of the 21 opponents he faced in his Western Conference playoffs during that span, 17 of those teams won at least 50 games, 81% of his opposition, with the next.
Now, Kobe Bryant, he's my favorite player. I'll always say that. Before LeBron, Kobe Bryant was my favorite player. Now, let you know, like I said, the Western Conference, had better GMs, so they had better teams. Do y'all understand that GMs in the the head of basketball operations is making these teams? And shout out to the Lakers management for always having a team around Kobe. You drafted Kobe. You pretty much gave him Shaq when he first got there. Yeah, won championships with Shaq. Had a little break when they had no second star. Then they got Pau Gasol. Then they went back to the finals and win more championships. So shout out to the Lakers for always having like good teams around Kobe. But yeah, the West was stacked. But I'm trying to figure out what this got to do with LeBron.
50 games, 81% of his opposition, with the next best.
This video should be more about bashing the Eastern Conference GMs more than LeBron. That's what it sounds like to me. LeBron can only play who is in front of him.
Games, 81% of his opposition, with the next best players in the conference over that time being the likes of Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, and Kevin Durant. I ask you, who had the more impressive feat here? 4 years, detractors of this LeBron mythos pertaining to the 8 straight finals appearances have made the counterpoint that he would never have been able to do it from the West. Well, after being blown off the court and swept for the second time in his finals career in the 2017-2018 season, LeBron decided to try his hand in that Western Conference.
Both of what LeBron and Kobe did was impressive, but making 8 straight finals, come on. Like, come on, that's unheard of. It's not good having this much hate in your heart. It's not good. It's not good mentally or physically. We be around our friends and families. We can't be having this much hate in our hearts. We just can't. That brother need a hug.
Well, after being blown off the court and swept for the second time in his finals career in the 2017-2018 season, LeBron decided to try his hand in that Western Conference. And now...
Oh yeah, when LeBron got swept, like them Golden State teams was ridiculous. Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond. Then off the bench, you got Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala. Them teams were insane. That team was insane.
Second time in his finals career in the 2017-2018 season, LeBron decided to try his hand in that Western Conference. And now, 5 years out west, LeBron has missed the playoffs altogether in 2 years, lost in the first round in another season, got swept most recently in the West Finals, and yes, won an exhibition tournament disguised as an NBA title in the bizarre COVID-shortened season that culminated in a surreal tournament in the Disney bubble, where...
Oh man, the hating is insane. The hating is insane. Oh my, I promise y'all, if anybody else other than LeBron James won that ring, they would have got credit. But since LeBron won it, it's a Mickey Mouse clubhouse. It's a Mickey Mouse clubhouse ring. Like, come on, y'all. LeBron got a ring his second year in LA. Like, come on, dog. Oh my gosh. This is insane. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. Y'all don't want to give LeBron credit for anything. Like, come on. Him and AD was hooping in that bubble, too.
Swept most recently in the West Finals, and yes, won an exhibition tournament disguised as an NBA title in the bizarre COVID-shortened season that culminated in a surreal tournament.
That 2020 championship count, LeBron, AD, and the Lakers were hooping. I'm really glad they won that ring because people was talking crazy about AD too. Anthony Davis is one of the greatest players ever in NBA history, one of the greatest power forwards in NBA history. In my opinion, this is my opinion, I think he's the most talented power forward in NBA history. That's my opinion. I think he's the most talented. Oh my goodness. People were so mad Lakers won that ring in 2020. Ooh, they was mad. Man, that was funny. People be hating like crazy.
In another season, got swept most recently in the West Finals, and yes, won an exhibition tournament disguised as an NBA title in the bizarre COVID-shortened season that culminated in a surreal tournament in the Disney bubble, where Anthony Davis led the entire NBA playoffs in both scoring and win share for the champion Lakers. Many liars in the mass media and teenagers who don't understand the actual history of the NBA like to paint LeBron James as having played some kind of super competition throughout his career. But when you break down the conference in which he came from and the totality of his championship runs, LeBron's actual playoff accomplishments are amongst the worst of any all-time great.
That is an insane comment to say. No, the hating in this video is top tier. I'm not gonna lie. The hating is top tier. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is wild. What? This man dominated the conference for pretty much almost, what, a decade and a half? Yeah, he's overrated. The hating is insane. Oh my gosh.
Throughout his career. But when you break down the conference in which he came from and the totality of his championship runs, LeBron's actual playoff accomplishments are amongst the worst of any all-time great. And he did it in markedly more time in most cases than any other player he is being compared to. But as is most frequently the case, the myth, lore, and legend built up around LeBron James always exceeds the actual reality.
Like I said, that video was top tier hating. LeBron making 8 straight finals. From what I learned from this video, we should congratulate him and his teams more for that. He's the only, oh my gosh. Anybody else will be rejoiced if they made 8 straight finals, but no, LeBron's getting bashed for that. The whole run was overrated, I guess. Because that is ridiculous. What? Man. So drop your thoughts in the comments below about this video and your thoughts about LeBron. Was his finals runs overrated, even though they weren't? Furthermore, like and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you won't miss another video from me. And I hope everyone have a blessed day. I'm out.